Welcome everybody to another episode of the established 1982 podcast, the Geek Culture Podcast, hosted by responsibly irresponsible adults that have loved video games, comic books, movies, and TV ever since 1982. This is your boy, the Lawsman Wally Analog, and I'm joined, of course, by the gatekeeper of civility and order, Rolls Royce.
Yes, sir.
In 82's wish granted. I like that's our wish. We actually did literally wish for her, and then she came true. She is 82's wish come true. Wish Kid Jones.
Thank you.
In the building, and especially today, considering that the subject matter is one in which she is deeply experienced.
The pressure.
Yes, and no pressure, of course.
And she's doing the Diddy bop.
Yeah, yes. Welcome to this episode that is a pre-game episode of the upcoming Disney Plus series Kenobi. Is it called Obi-Wan Kenobi, or is it just Kenobi?
It's called Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
Kenobi!
So it's on and popping now that we are, I guess, kind of through a TV phase of Marvel. We finished Moon Knight, so now it's
Disney's
time
turn.
Now it's time for the Lucasfilms part.
Right.
Yeah.
They pay good money for these properties, so they expect us to subscribe and watch.
You know, we're not gonna start that way. We're not gonna start.
Speaking of subscribers, we would just like to thank those who have been diligent in following us and becoming patrons on patreon.com/EST1982 podcast. We want to thank you for your patronage, as well as the time that you spend. And, of course, those patrons are Carrie Ledbetter, Jamal Weidman, representing that Philly. I talked to Jamal Weidman. We talked in depth. Stories for Nerds, Fat Thor Edenson, Mr. Nuts, Tori Moore, Jason Latham. I mean, that guy. Can we talk about Jason?
Shout out to Jason.
Listen, hey, Jason, you need to DM your number, please. We need to converse.
Oh God!
If you hear this, drop that number in the DM so I can holler at you. Yes,
Jason's my friend.
That's the guy. Willis Kelly, JG, the Chic Geek, Mage TV, aka Militant Billy, Enigmatic 52, The Blurred Before, and Terrence. Don't call me Richie. Rich. Thank you so much for your support. And if you want to be a patron, you too can go out to patreon.com/EST1982 podcast and pledge as little as $1 to keep these lights on here at the 82. Now,
probably kind of lights y'all got.
Well,
we let you got one light on, y'all.
Yeah, and that's because one in particular don't like lights. I swear we got a day walker here at the table.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Me too.
2 day walkers. So somebody needs to watch out.
Right. Yes.
Wally.
Yep. That is correct. I'll leave the
Maybe
light.
it's the artist in us.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Don't want fluorescence.
We want one of that fake beep.
Okay. Now I've got an education today.
Right.
Now we're going to get a further education on all things Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the 27th, May 27th. Mm-hmm. And do we have an idea of how many episodes? They never really released that right away.
6.
Is it 6?
Yep.
So that's been the formula here lately. You're going to get 6.
But I'll also say this is a limited series, which I appreciate.
Right.
So we're managing expectations out the gate.
Correct. No season 2.
Well, most likely probably why? Because of where we're falling into the story.
Exactly.
And where we are in the timeline. I mean, if you do a season 2, you pretty much gonna like watch the movie over.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna run into what's happening with all the other Disney properties Lucasfilm properties that are coming out.
All right.
So yeah, it's a limited series, but I'm excited about that because I think it manages our expectations, but I think we can expect a lot because they're gonna probably really, really, really pack it in and make it really exciting. So
Right.
I just don't know where you guys want me to start.
I was gonna say let's talk about expectations as the purest Star Wars fan that you are. What is it that you're expecting?
Well, let me just kind of set a stage for those who are not super familiar, because we do have a couple of folks who follow us who are not Star Wars fans.
Yeah, we got a few
and they've
that
been
feel
not
like
afraid
it's
to
overrated.
tell me so. Well, listen, you guys. Sorry to hear that. Can you watch it, please? So just to kind of set the stage, as you guys know, we're coming right out of the prequels, where folks are excited. People have been asking for this, I think, way before we even asked for another movie. We've been asking for that story bit that happens after Anakin goes to the dark side. He's officially now Darth Vader. He was defeated on Mustafar, where at this point is made his residence. And as you guys all know, the famous line, Obi-Wan had the higher ground. And he challenged Anakin, like, don't do it. You're my brother. I have the higher ground. All those great things you could think about. We could talk for days about the analogy in that, sometimes you have to just be humble to the higher ground, and the higher being, if you will. And he didn't listen, and he lost his legs. And he's probably, as we know, the movie says, more machine than man at this point. So now we are at the point where the twins have been born, and they have gone into hiding because they do not want Darth to know that they exist, which is interesting because they are strong with the Force. However, in his anger, he's pretty much disconnected from the positive Force and more into the dark side. And so here we are. Now we are at the place where Obi-Wan, as you guys know, Order 66 took most of the Jedi away. Not all, obviously, and they've all gone into hiding. And this is an exciting time around Star Wars because we actually get to see the rise of the dark side and where the dark side really is winning. And if I can, I think we can all, especially those who are Christians, can relate to when we know the dark side is winning, but yet there is hope, right? And that's Obi-Wan and what's going on. So here we are. So Obi-Wan is going to pretty much take place, and what's really interesting about this is that there's so many predictions on what the story will be, but the reality is we're going to catch up with Obi-Wan as he's going into hiding, going into deeper self, while also babysitting, right? So he's going to be keeping track of what's going on with Luke and Leia. Luke is now living with his aunt and uncle, as we know, and Leia is becoming a Princess Organa, and so she's living that life. And so from what I can get from the trailers, because I want to talk about facts before I talk about what we think is going to happen, of course, Darth Vader knows that Obi-Wan is still alive, and he's not happy about it. And so not only Obi-Wan is alive, but Darth is now trying to take out all Jedi. So all Jedis are on a list. So all bounty hunters, and he created this other society who are not Jedi. And I want to say that because people confuse Inquisitors and First and Third Brothers with Jedi, and they're not. They are trained in saber fighting, and they're familiar with the dark side, but they are not Sith. Because remember, there only could be 2 Sith at a time.
Right.
So because you have so many Inquisitors, they basically are the dark army who wants to do the bidding of Darth Vader, almost like his secret ninja squad, if you will, for lack of a better word. But they're not Padawans, or they're not Sith lords in the making. Matter of fact, there's a lore that some of the Grand Inquisitor, actually used to be part of the Jedi Order, and then turned over, not completely to the dark side, but started serving, if you will, the dark side. Matter of fact, one of the Jedi knights who actually protect the library and some of the places, and I forgot what they're called. It'll come to me in a little while. But either way, the Inquisitor...
The archives?
No, not archives. It was special class. And you actually see them, they don't carry green, or their lightsabers are always white or yellow.
I've not seen the white ones.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, Ahsoka has a white lightsaber,
No?
because she's not a Jedi anymore.
That's right. She kind of just went on her own thing.
Correct. So fast forward. So now he has enlisted basically a ninja force, which is definitely confirmed because we saw in the trailer. The Inquisitors, and I'm stoked about the Inquisitors. This is a good time for those who may not checked it out. This is where Star Wars Rebels comes in. During the Star Wars Rebels run, you got a really good introduction to the Inquisitors. You actually get to see basically where their fate ends, but they're like doper than bounty hunters, right? Like just again have lightsabers. Their lightsabers are usually dual side. Their fighting is insane because of the dual side of the lightsaber. It's just sick. It's like Darth Maul meets, a ninja squad. It's really, really cool. And so basically they're out here, and, Obi-Wan is number 1 on his head list. And so Darth is taking it personal. He's looking for him as well. And so I think in this series, what we'll see is, if nothing else, we'll see this chase and this hunt for Jedis, especially Obi-Wan. While Obi-Wan also is going to try to go to this next level of learning and enlightenment, if you will, because if you remember in the new series, he becomes a spirit. And so you have to learn how to do that, right? And so if you recall from the prequels, Yoda said, there's more learning you can do. Yes, there's more learning training. Yes, yes. And so he's going to do that, and he's going to learn how to become a force spirit, if you will. So I'm going to take a breath to see if there's any questions, because that's what we know from the trailers, factual. There's definitely been some speculation on what will come out of this series. Y'all don't look as excited as I am, but I'm gassed.
Well, okay.
I'm super excited.
Well, now it looks great. Let's be clear. I think my only concern, and it may evolve into a question as I articulate it, but one of the things that I particularly get annoyed by is when you have. Wait a minute.
I didn't say anything.
They
can't see my face.
You better head back like, oh God.
They can't see my face.
I'm letting the people know. Letting people know how you're reacting. Just so they know.
If anybody know, they will all react. They will all do the same thing. As soon as you said my concern, everybody's like, here we go. Get off this man's lawn. What's going on?
It's not that. Okay. Whenever you have stories that come prior to something that you've already known, there's always this phenomenon that stuff is doper before, so why didn't they have it then, right? So my concern is the Inquisitors, right? Mm-hmm. These dudes and these women, actually,
right,
women
right.
are
they
this
call the
awesome
brothers,
force.
right? They call the brothers and sisters, right?
Now they can write this in such a way that this is not an issue, but if Darth Vader has this clique of folk. Why haven't we not seen it like these?
You have.
So are they?
They're canon. Yeah, they're not brand new. They're just bringing them to life. So that's why I mentioned.
That's why Rebels.
Right, Rebels is really, really important to
now
probably catch up on before.
So Darth Vader still got these folks, right?
And comics, by the way, because the whole castle of Darth Vader on Mustafar.
Okay.
This is where they train. This is where they live. This is where they. So that's all canon.
I didn't realize that he stayed there.
So when did
he built a castle?
He built a castle.
Yes, he did.
Wow,
so he's still traveling the galaxy because clearly he's working.
But I didn't know he had a home base there.
Correct. Don't forget, there still are two Sith. You still have Emperor Palpatine, so he's the first Sith, and Darth would be the second. So
where are the Inquisitors as of, let's say, Empire Strikes Back?
Rebels. That's what we're trying to tell you.
So they exist.
They existed. So Rebels. So okay. Let me help you out with the timeline. You had the prequels, and then you had
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, right? And then after Clone Wars, technically there's no movie, right? You still then have what we have. Well, that's not true. Clone Wars take you. No, we do, because Clone Wars around that whole Solo, Rebels, all that's in the same timeline. Right? Because remember, Solo brings us right up to Empire Strikes Back. Is it right?
No. Because
Solo
Solo just met.
No, Solo brings us up to the first movie.
Yeah,
the first movie.
And Rogue One, where is that? That's
before the Death Star was even destroyed, because the plans.
No, sorry. Rogue One brings us up to the first movie. Solo was even before Rogue One. Before. So I think Rogue One brings us up to, I guess, present time. Not this present, but the Star Wars that we know. Oh. So Rebels. So this whole let me take a step back, and thank you guys for correcting me. After Clone Wars, and you have basically Order 66, you have a whole time frame that we're moving in, where we're starting to see what happens when the Empire takes over, right? And so that's kind of where the Mandalorian and all that. No, sorry, not the Mandalorian. No, I got it right. Yeah, you have all that ambiguity of what happened to all these characters, right? And so you have the immersion of Solo's life and where he comes from. You have Rebels, which basically focused on the rebellion, right? How did you start building this rebellion squad, right? Who are these people? And matter of fact, I think I'm skipping one. When you think about after Clone Wars, the one with the Batch, Bad Batch. Bad Batch is probably actually the next thing, because you actually get to see the falling of, and you start to see the development of people saying this is not right.
Right.
Which is what's interesting about Bad Batch, because Bad Batch, you're watching soldiers who have a conscience. So even in that series, we start to see how the Empire is moving away from clones and starting to recruit people, because the clones now feel some kind of way. Because remember, the clones fought with the Jedi.
Right.
So they were duped as well, right? And so now you're starting to see that happen. And then, again, Rebels is still building that whole order. Now we're at the point where Princess Leia and everybody's kind of, trying to fight the Empire. which is why in the last movie people were so excited to see so many ships, because some of those ships came from Rebels and some other franchises, because they've been fighting, but they weren't in the original movie canon. I hope this is making sense. So back to the Inquisitors. In Rebels, you're introduced to Inquisitors not as new folks, but folks that have been existing hunting down Jedi. But we see them take down the Inquisitors.
So is that their only role? That's it. We just hunt Jedi. We don't do nothing else. Like if you sent us out to get,
they do Darth Vader's bidding.
Okay.
So to your point, they're not. And I want to be clear, they're Darth Vader's bidding. They're not necessarily. Remember, the whole empire is taking over all the universe.
So that's where I have an issue. Because if he's got these Inquisitors, why line up these dudes of bounty hunters in Empire Strikes Back to get this
don't
dude?
forget the code of a bounty hunter. You can hire a bounty hunter, but a bounty hunter is not dedicated to you. Let's be clear with the Inquisitors.
But that's correct. But that's why you want somebody that is and won't take payment.
Inquisitors. That's what they are. That's what so basically they're.
You said they're doper than bounty hunters. So I don't want Boba Fett. I want this chick to go get Han Solo.
In regards to fighting, because they're almost like not complete Sith, but they're a lot more skilled than your average bounty hunter.
Okay.
Because they're trained in the ways of the Force, but they're not of the Force.
Okay.
So when I say they're better than bounty hunters, I'm just in regards to their fighting style and their focus. So they're basically like Darth Vader's personal army.
Right. So why not send them out?
He did.
To get Han Solo.
Well,
why hire bounty hunters?
Because you're jumping in the timeline.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to know when did this Inquisitor cease to exist, and that's why I have a problem with it.
By the time the movies come out, they're gone.
Okay, and that's my question.
In Rebels, you get to.
That's all I need.
In Rebels, you get to get the backstory and also see how they were taken down.
Yeah, that's all I need. That's all I need. I need clarification because if they still running around, that you okay.
Now I will say this: the only outlier I don't know, if I'm not mistaken, I think one of the sisters survived, and I think we get a little bit backstory. But
that's fair.
I say this: now we're getting into theories. One of the theories is because, again, don't forget, they're not dedicated to a side.
Right.
That some of them might just decide not to do it anymore.
I'm done with this. Yeah.
So if they are still existing,
they won't get choked out if they decide to do that.
It may not be an Inquisitor anymore. But this is me jumping into probable theory of maybe
correct,
because Inquisitors also had a thing for keeping helmets on their faces, and they're being very intentional about showing people's faces in this particular one.
Yeah, you know that.
So I probably also
you're gonna pull your mask off.
Well, because it's also live action, I get it.
That's
right?
correct. They want their acting credits.
Right. So I hope they answered your question. I hope we didn't confuse folks.
No, it did. All I need to know.
I'm a little out of order, but
I just need to confirm that these Inquisitors were not a thing by Empire, because it wouldn't make sense to be hiring Bosk.
It's the same thing with Rebels, right? Like people ask, "Where's Ahsoka the whole entire time?" And we do know where she went, but she's never been in any of these movies.
I'm good then.
So it's a similar character arc, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because all we have to go by is the existing movies, and then they're building the universe as we speak, and going back.
Right, and you have to be very careful.
Yeah,
you do. But what I do appreciate is what they are doing is they are bringing up characters in context, and I can appreciate that.
Right.
So, for instance, we haven't seen a full Saw arc, but Saw has popped up in Batch. Saw has popped up in Rebels. Saw has popped up even in Saw Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera. Okay. Gotcha.
The one that he popped up fully in Rogue One. But Saw popped up in he even popped up in Clone Wars, because him and his sister were they were already part of a rebellion that was fighting against the Empire before there was a huger rebellion.
And you talk about Forrest Whitaker's character.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And then you saw him end in Rogue One, so you saw where it came to an end.
Right.
But they have been touting him since the Clone Wars, and he's shown up again in Bad Batch, and he showed up again, I believe, in Rebels. He did, because he's one of those kind of guys where he's very Black Panther. Not Black Panther MC, I'm talking about but Fight the Power, right?
I know what you're
where he's against the rebellions, or Malcolm X, by any means necessary.
Right.
Which other rebellions, like, okay, you're a little extreme for us.
Right.
So he was very, very extreme in his, especially after they killed his sister. And that's probably a whole nother cast. But my point is, to what we're saying.
That's a dope series.
It's a super dope series. So I have to give props to...
If they do it.
Right, but also as they introduce things, they are grounding us in things that we are familiar with. Like, so if you told me, what is Saw, I could tell you exactly where Saw came from, i.e. like the Inquisitors. Like, I don't feel like Where do these folks come from?
Right.
There's a rich history of who they
Correct.
are via comics as well as and Rebels. We saw the end of their story.
Well, it sounds
arc.
like they've interwoven it.
Or just even how it's the same reason why we're all in love with Mandalorian. If you really think about it, the movie did not do anything to make us fall in love with Mandalorians or Mandalore, right? What would really kind of continue building that is what we saw through Clone Wars, which is it has an arc of its own there,
right.
and then it kept popping up, and it came back even Rebels because Sabine is actually of Mandalore, which we even got the Darth Saber, which now is showing up now. So I have to say that, and this will be a good note for later. Even though it's not necessarily all tied together, there is some consistency that is happening.
That's correct.
Even with these offshoot stories. And I wish other properties would take this lesson. But that's a conversation for another day.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yes, there's appreciation for it.
Is Star Wars probably the most fertile universe ever?
I think so. I think in
terms of just
correct. I think we can. So I know what we're going to see in the series is a whole new planet. And I think, again, Star Wars can do that because they already set up the fact that we're talking about galaxies upon galaxies. So you have permission to go somewhere else. However, it will still be in context to what we're talking about. And I don't want to go backwards, but I think if you guys recall a conversation around Boba Fett, that was like the biggest beef. It's like you have this universe to play with.
Right.
All these other bounty hunters, all these other characters that we're familiar with, and you guys scaled it down to a place that's completely unbelievable of what happened with Boba.
Right.
So it almost hurts you that we don't explore the universe or use the massness that Star Wars has built because it has a creative license to do so. And I think Boba Fett is one of those examples of you didn't do that. You didn't use it right. Now all the episodes we love were the ones that tie back into a larger story or explored off of Tatooine and Boba's story, right? So I don't want to go revisit that, but what I'm hoping and what I'm excited about this series, it looks like they're not going to do that. I think I think people wanted Obi-Wan just as bad as they wanted a movie, and so I think the care and the thought went into. I hope it went into this because if not, I think if this goes bad, I think you will lose a lot of fans. Because everything's sitting right there in front of you. Likewise, as much I'm excited about the rematch between Darth and Obi-Wan. One, we know that Obi-Wan survives because clearly, right? We know Darth survives. So the real excitement is really about the fight itself, but we know that no one really loses a limb, if you will, right? Like no one's gonna be fatally gone.
No.
But I'm also hoping that we don't spend the whole series just trying to get up to that moment. I hope that it's just one of the many high moments of the show.
That's one of my questions too about Star Wars because it's almost like I think the thing with Star Wars for me is it's almost like a catch-22. Yeah, there's a lot of fertile ground to ring the nostalgia bell and go, remember that Obi-Wan? Just flash his name, and all of a sudden there's a herd of folks going to that. But the other part too is like the moment they say, well, we're gonna try to do a new Star Wars for the next generation. We're like, and there's talks of that they're trying to. Yeah. Which I welcome.
Don't you have to?
I wanted it.
Huh? Don't you have to?
Well, I'm going to tell you, honestly, for me, I'm going to tell you what I wanted, that I feel like they've been planting this seed for a long time is the Jedi Order has to move on. Who are they?
Right.
And I think that was a disappointment of the last three movies with Rey because it's like you had Luke alive and able to, even though I know the Jedi thing burned down, but you had an opportunity to pass on this baton and literally go create new Jedi. And they hinted towards it in the second one when a little kid looked up at the stars.
Right.
And I don't know if people noticed Force, his broom was standing on its own.
Yeah.
The broom was standing on its own. People kind of missed it.
But there was a director that took over and just was we're not going that way.
Yeah, they did this director ping pong thing that was horrible, and we could talk about that another time.
And he's still in play, right? Ryan Johnson?
I think so.
Yeah, because they're like, go develop your own.
Because the stories were disconnected. They were completely disjointed. But even before the last three movies came out, I think there's always been some hope of bringing the order back because technically everyone's not dead. So I think a lot of us, which is kind of what we got a little bit in Boba Fett of Ahsoka and Luke finding each other. Because Ahsoka, don't forget, we also have Ezra who's out there, who's not necessarily gone. And then you have other people who are so force sensitive. So I even thought Sabine had a little bit of force sensitivity, though we never fully got into it, right? So there's a whole universe of force-sensitive people that bring back the orders. Because if the evil came back, then why didn't the second order? Then why? Right. So to me, I was looking forward to it because, again, what we love about it is like the story is fertile for it, and it's really a legacy that doesn't get old, because evil and good never gets old. It's just a revolution of what that looks like, or the evolution rather of what that looks like. And I think for 3, that's where I was disappointed, because it was so well set up. Even
Kenobi's not going to give you this.
Well, and Kenobi's not supposed to, which is again,
right. So if you're starting
okay
with
with
the limited series,
I think what Kenobi will do is it will help any other series that come out of this time frame land. So you might get a hint that there are other Jedi that are alive.
Yeah.
Right. And then to your point, you can go down that branch now, and it won't seem so crazy that if 5 years from now you have to create branches off of this other stuff that I'm loving how we're playing off of branch timelines, right?
Yeah.
We get to create branches,
but you have to do that.
you will. But you can do that here. Like if I found out, I'm making this up, that some random Jedi is still alive, I'm not gonna be like, where did that come from? It makes total sense because they're all in hiding.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And then later on, if we meet them in Boba Fett or Mandalorian, because Mandalorian, if I'm not mistaken, takes place after it's in between the originals and the new.
Yeah.
I won't feel like that's crazy, because you have permission to do so, because we know that there are some left, right? So, but I don't expect Obi-Wan to like answer any future questions. I think it just sets up again.
Spin off some other people.
Well, even Batch. I think Bad Batch might be delayed. This is a tuition assumption, not read anywhere, but I think Bad Batch might be delayed because Bad Batch is going to get into setting up the new Star Wars in regards of all the scientific experimentation that Palpatine is doing to create his own Jedi Order.
Right.
And so I think you'll see, again, bits and pieces of that in here, because we saw bits and pieces of it in The Mandalorian. So I think we're going to probably get Easter eggs that make those stories fuller, not newer, if that makes any sense.
And not to derail, but do you think that series like Obi-Wan, I know Mandalorian is kind of like a hybrid where it's like they're getting people like us, our generation, but here's Grogu.
Yeah, come get these toys
and bring the younger generation.
Yes.
Do you feel like Star Wars has enough series? Like, say there's a generation that just watched Rebels and they didn't have any. I guess they would go back and watch the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Star Wars has enough like generations to push it forward to new? Okay,
I do. And this is N of one. Right. My nephew is obsessed with this stuff. Okay. And his favorite character is Darth Vader.
I see.
Even though when I introduced him to it, I started him off with Clone Wars. I was catching up with Clone Wars and Rebels, and he sits and watches everything with me.
Right.
But he'll sit and watch the movies. Now he'll watch the cartoons more intently because he's my nephew's 7, but not for nothing. He's the new generation, right? He's very familiar with the core characters, even though he didn't start with the original movies.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Done a good job of helping you get context
Correct.
if you haven't seen.
And it's not like I sat him down and said, okay, here.
Watch this New Hope.
Right.
Man.
Here's right. New Hope. That's what they came after.
Right.
Thank you. It's not that I sat down with him and said, okay, we're going to watch New Hope before you watch Rebels, or we're going to see it. And he loves it. Right. And he sits and he watches. I mean, he started with cartoons. Going back to what we said, I think they did a good job of saying, even though Darth Vader is gone,
right,
or he hasn't even been born yet, or whatever that is, these characters are so classic in what they have done for the universe that people always are able to tie it back, yet have permission. Because Rebels, to be honest with you, after watching New, I would never thought that there's a whole story of people, but it makes a lot of sense. Of course, Princess Leia couldn't be by herself, and it wasn't just Alderaan who was behind. It had to be a universe of people.
Yes.
This had to just like think about. I mean, we about the culture, right? Like slavery wasn't just Harriet Tubman, right? It had to be a revolutionary movement that was happening across the world, actually, in regards, right? So it's the same kind of feel. So you can have a Rebels and go deep down that story arc with all the permissions in the world, and never even have to mention Darth Vader in Rebels. If I really think about it, I think he came up in the Ahsoka episode of Rebels, if I'm not mistaken, which opened up a whole nother Pandora's box.
I see.
separate from the general Rebel story, which is really about a group of people who were helping with the revolution, right? Yeah. So I hope I answered your question. I feel like yes, I think there's enough for everybody.
Yeah, and
I really do.
And the reason I'm asking this question because I'm realizing that just my age, I have I guess you would call it a bias where it's like I know the original trilogy. Yes. I knew what and I was there to witness it, and I feel like that's a badge of honor because like that was the OG.
Right. I'm original. Right. I'm with the original. Right.
There's a whole generation where I will mention Star Wars, and
they don't know
there's no original trilogy in their head.
That's fair.
And they don't even know the names of the movies that came after it.
They're not fans.
Well.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I feel like
they pick and choose which series they like.
I think that's fine because
it's easy to do in this age, though. Now.
Right,
it is.
Easy to do that. We had no choice. It's like if you didn't go to the movies, that was it. That was it. That's how you knew about Star Wars.
Right. Correct. And I was gonna say it's gonna probably happen with Avengers. It's probably gonna happen somewhere on the DC line.
Yeah,
because that's just
comics. Where the movies at?
Correct. That's just
where them TV shows.
That's just the world we're in.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Right.
But
that's right.
At some point, I feel like if you fall in love with it, you're going to go back and you have to because you're missing
because it's other stuff.
You're missing the point of the story,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So now you're going back to the archives and you know what I'm saying.
And not for nothing, people were pissed with the prequels.
Oh,
and to be honest with you, I don't like.
Now people are starting to appreciate the prequels
them now,
right?
But not because they're good, because they weren't that good.
They were rough.
They were a little rough. But we appreciate it because I love Solo. I love Rogue One. I love Bad Batch. I've
not met anybody else that said they love Solo. I thought I was literally Solo in that sentiment.
Solo was good.
Why is everybody? I hate to derail, but that movie doesn't get the credit it deserves.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think some people.
It flopped.
It was a curse on marketing.
But I put money on it, and by the way, guys, $1. We'll get into that later. But $1. I put money on if they go down the Crimson.
Dawn. Was it that what they were called? Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, but down I'm gonna say her name all wrong because she's always gonna be the Dragon Queen.
Right, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
If they go down the Crimson and go a little deeper into Darth Maul, if they do Boba Fett right, people will go back and they'll watch Solo.
Right.
And Solo will get a whole nother level of appreciation because you're gonna need.
Yeah, that movie is good, man.
It is, but you're gonna need that. And what I love about Solo was it set up the whole crime syndicate, which is why we were so. Right. For me, maybe that's my moment with Boba Fett. I'm like, it was too much material that y'all could have went back to for Boba Fett, and y'all barely touched it. Right. But that whole crime syndicate, that whole situation between Solo and again, God bless you, Dave Filoni, and Clone Wars. You can get a whole lot that you're gonna want to watch Solo. You're gonna have to watch it to move forward, and that's what I'm saying about Star Wars. Like, fine, if you want to come jump in the middle of Obi-Wan, if you fall in love with Obi-Wan, you're gonna go back and you're gonna have to go back and watch it, whether you like them or not.
So now the roles are flipped. What do I need to watch before I watch Obi-Wan?
Correct.
How much time do you have?
Oh Lord.
No, I'm being serious.
I don't have much time.
You don't.
But I can squeeze. I can try to squeeze.
All right, audience. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you some broad ones, but I'm going to do my homework and give you actual episodes because, again, no.
Series?
I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to break down actual episodes because you could get a little bit of Clone Wars, but y'all know with Clone Wars, I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing.
It's a lot.
She gave me a list of the ones you need to watch in order.
Okay.
And you don't have to watch the whole season. So if you
I'll tell you what. You give me the list, and I'll make sure it's in the.
That's what I'm saying. I'll make sure we'll do diligence. We'll put in episode notes. But there are some key episodes, a couple in Clone Wars that'll do you good. I definitely feel like you should watch the first 3 movies, or at least read a synopsis about them or something.
The prequels or the original
prequels.
trilogy?
I'm sorry, prequels.
Okay, yeah.
Because you want to, if nothing else, the last one, so you can understand.
So you can see where everything ended up.
Like with the whole high ground, low ground. Watch the last one, you'll be fine. if you've never watched Star Wars, you'll be fine. But I would start with that, just so you can also get the anticipation why this fight is such a big deal. You could watch New Hope because that's where Obi-Wan had his largest arc.
Right, and you want to know this family that's taking
Oh,
care
I've
of.
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but so I guess the sandwich. If
Speaking to the viewers also.
Right.
Right, sorry.
Not you, right? I know you better watch it. You
We
better
already know you
have.
watched
You
it.
better have. Every time I come on TNT, you better watch it. TBS, you better watch it.
It do get a stop. When
No, I had the box set at home.
There you go.
4K. Yeah.
Or if you have Disney Plus, please go visit.
Right,
You know the story. Lucasfilms.
Monthly subscription.
But the sandwich bread would be the last one of the prequels and New Hope.
yeah.
So you can get the Obi-Wan arc.
Okay.
So you're good.
Yeah. So and again, Star Wars clones just might help in regards of why it's so intense between the two.
Right.
And we can find some episodes for that. And then I do say, if you have time, please watch Rebels. Rebels will prepare you for the Inquisitor conversation.
Part, yeah.
Right.
Because Inquisitors is super heavy in
How
Rebels.
many seasons is Rebels?
I
2
think
or
it's
3?
three.
Okay.
It's 3 seasons. And
12
again,
episodes, or is it like
no, it's a
20?
lot.
20.
There's a lot.
They do
There's a
large
lot. There's a
numbers
lot.
of episodes.
So I will do my due diligence to see if I can either find a list or create the list of Rebels.
Okay.
But I think the Inquisitors are an extremely big part of this story,
Okay.
and you're not going to get it anywhere else. But
All
I
right.
think watching a good dose of Rebels.
Yeah, I want to take your advice on that before I watch this.
Yeah, and
Just
then,
so I can get the full experience, because that's the thing that I always feel with some of this. Yes, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not deep. Like there's folks that watch Rebels. There was like an anime one.
Right.
Yeah,
We sit
I
with
saw
it.
that.
Not
Yeah.
the anime, not the Visions, but the there was one. It was like CG. What was the name of it?
For Star Wars
Yeah.
canon.
You've not seen it?
That's what I'm saying. If it's canon, I've seen it, but I don't know what you're talking about.
It looks like it's not Visions, but it looks like Japanese anime, and it's on this planet. Everything is like bright and sunny, and had the yellow ship.
Oh.
I'm talking about?
Yeah, I did watch that one.
Right.
Star Wars is not Rebels. It's it starts with the R. It's about the guy who actually is also Jet, and he's a starfighter, and he gets stuck on
It was
the
like
ship.
a random one. It was like a random season.
It's right because it didn't do very well. It's right. That's like almost how Rogue One opened up to that was supposed to like bring you right into the new Rey ones, and it didn't do a good job. I actually didn't like it, but my nephew loved it. Not Revolution. It was. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I guess I did watch it.
Okay.
I
will say
no.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
out
it.
there. You didn't
I'm
see
gonna
it.
look it up. No, I didn't seen it. I didn't seen it. Matter of fact, I'm putting it on my Disney Plus. It wasn't my favorite, but I watched every episode of it.
Yeah.
Because it had a little bit of consistency. It was very cartoon.
Okay.
It was. I mean, like Star Wars is it's all family friendly, but that was like super made for kids.
Right.
Like this. I mean,
It's hard
it was
for you to
super made
sit
for
and
kids.
watch,
Yeah, it was like okay, but I'm dedicated, so of course I watched it, and also because their ship showed up in the new set of movies at the end.
See, like in a new set of movies,
So-
I
and
had
that's-
no
that's-
context.
You didn't know what it
Oh,
was.
when
Right.
we were gassed. It's like, oh my God, this. And when you watch Rebels, like, oh my God, this ship, and then this is shipping.
Right.
Oh, and they came too, because that's
Right.
pulling all the other past things. Where again, you can
Star Wars is able to do that.
correct. You have, but you know what I love about it? Even if you don't watch any of this stuff, I think you'll enjoy Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna
man.
be a
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Oh,
it's,
yeah.
not, it's not gonna be a thing. You're like, what is happening?
Yeah, and that's the goal. You got to
I
make
hope
it
that doesn't
enjoyable
happen.
outside of not
I
having
hope
to
that
do
doesn't happen
I hope
either.
there's no like
Having to do
Grogu's
all-
in
But
there.
I think you enjoy it more if you understand the characters.
little Ewoks to purchase
Right.
Can't
this
stand
Christmas.
you. But I did tell someone on, like I said, listen, I like Grogu, but the way they're going is going the way of the Ewoks, and I'm not an Ewok fan. However, I will still watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's
So-
that's the only that's my only
It's gonna drive me crazy.
and I know we're wrapping it up, but that's my only concern is
Y'all barely talked. Y'all put that all on me.
No, we're trying to get the
Right.
and
Expert
trust the
opinion.
fans will appreciate it.
yeah.
I hope so, y'all.
Right.
Look, listen.
If y'all can't tell, I love Star Wars.
Yeah, that's why I had those questions, because I feel like sometimes when they ring the nostalgia bell, they're like, "But we gotta
Yeah,
get
we got the
we gotta get the little kids in there, and
Yeah.
we gotta throw this in there," and it kind of just
Star Wars Resistance. I knew
Right.
it was an R.
Yes.
Thank you. I had to go look up at y'all because it was gonna drive me crazy. Yeah, Star Wars Resistance.
Right.
Yeah, it was okay.
it was okay. Yeah. But I was gonna say, like, I hope that they don't squeeze anything in there to try to like wedge another, like, we got to get another audience type to kind of jump on board.
I see what you're saying. You know what?
Because like with Mandalorian, it felt forced in the second season for me.
Not so much the first. The first one was dope.
Oh, the first one was dope.
I was in love with Grogu. I mean, I
Right.
like.
No, I am too.
I think Grogu was more forced on us in Boba Fett
Correct.
than anything.
Yeah.
Well,
They shove.
That's a whole nother episode.
I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. I don't care what you use to bring Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker together.
But that's the thing. You didn't have to.
Right.
That's my reason.
No.
You didn't have to bring Grogu back to put a Rancor to sleep and take a nappy poo with him.
That part, yes. But I'm talking about the key reason why he even went out there was to visit Grogu. And if that's what it needed for me to see Luke, prime Luke, and Ahsoka meet and build a temple, I don't care if you use my grandmama. We've been waiting for that moment for a long time. And what I'm mad at is I wanted more dialogue, like your dad and your mom, and that's what they cheated me.
Well, they weren't going to do that.
No, but that's where you cheated me. But I don't care what they use. They could have used anything. Okay, anything. I would have been there for that.
They're gonna save that for
that was the best fan service anyone could have ever given us.
Don't turn off your subscription.
I don't care what they do. You want $10 more for that? Here you go.
$10 more.
Here you go. Here you go, $10 more for me for that moment. That was fan service at
its
best.
I pray that Obi-Wan doesn't, and I think to what you were saying, being a limited series, it kind of puts some finality to it where they're not going to introduce some new mess.
I'm very confident that it will be one of their best Star Wars
what I
series.
heard is, then these again are everyone's predictions of what's going to happen. I think we're going to get a little bit of family time is, from what I understand, Princess Leia as a child is going to be a big part of this. Okay. So they're assuming.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
It does, but I think that's where you're going to get that little girl.
I don't mind that. I mean, because it's part of the story, because we're going to follow Luke and Leia. And I was curious what they...
So I think Leia's going to get herself in some trouble where she might... Which makes sense. I'm going to tell you why. And again, this is I don't know. I know the Inquisitor part is really clear to me that they're running. The part with Princess Leia might be something they're keeping to their chest just so people have to look forward to.
If the Force is like trying to draw them together or something like that, or
no. She's who she is because of the Force inside of her. She's trying to do things, and she's just very outspoken, and upfront to begin with.
I'm not messed up about that.
It's just as much as Luke, as you saw him doing the thing, is dead set on.
I got to get
fighting.
Yeah,
right.
I got to get up here.
For what I understand is why that makes sense is if you go back to New Hope, Princess Leia is clearly familiar with Obi-Wan because she sends him a note.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Obi-Wan, you're my own. So I think in this series we'll see why she knows him because remember
she needs him
and she knows who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, in his full
Jedi
form, whereas Luke just knows him as old man.
Some old man wandering in the desert.
Old man Ben that lives in the desert somewhere, even a whole nother name.
Right.
And I think why I'm excited is because we're going to probably get those answers. Why?
Yes. Now you should.
We're
should.
We're going to get why you're known as Ben.
Yes.
And not Obi-Wan, and why she's so super familiar. Like, it's like, oh yeah, Uncle Obi-Wan, who's a Jedi. Like it's just pure knowledge clearly for her. At least I hope that's what we get. But
maybe
I want to
get some backstory on why he was whining about power converters.
Right. I don't want to do this no more.
I do want to go back and fix some things I said because I was giving you guys some order. And so, in regards of orders, timeline, you don't have to watch Phantom Menace. You don't have to watch Attack of the Clones. Clone Wars, funny enough, and timeline wise, sits in between that and the Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
Okay.
1,000 episodes.
Which is why I'm going to give you guys a couple episodes because Clone Wars covers a lot of a timeline and
so much.
But I'm telling you, but
Dave's good.
But Dave's a genius because again, you're going to go back and pluck moments out of that. To move you forward in other storylines, which is why we also but I'm backtracking. But
it's universe building. I love it.
Correct.
Yeah,
that's why I say if Boba Fett was named something different, like if Clone Wars was named Obi-Wan and Anakin, we would have had a problem. But the fact that it is Clone Wars gives it permission to touch that timeline.
To do other stuff.
So if we did Tatooine,
because it's about the clones in the battle more so than it is Anakin or Obi-Wan or anybody else.
It's about the timeline of the war.
Right.
Period.
Because some episodes you wouldn't even see
Yoda-centric
Anakin sometimes or Yoda or none of them.
Sometimes it's even about...
it was just clones.
What I love about even about the Jedis who were questioning the order itself. Right? Like, why are we even in war?
Mm-hmm.
If they did Boba Fett was called Tatooine something, I think all of it, but that's another conversation. We've been fine. But anyway, so definitely watch Revenge of the Sith because that's where the fight happens. And then, like I said, then there's Bad Batch, Solo, then Rebels.
Okay.
So I don't think any Inquisitors were mentioned, in Solo, but definitely in Rebels. And then after Rebels was Rogue One. And then like we talked about, that pulled in New Hope.
You heard it from our resident.
So there you go.
Star
Between
Wars
Rebels
experts.
and New Hope, you should be good. And I'm more than welcome to come back and say, once the series starts, if something Rogue One happens-ish, then we can come back and talk about it. I don't foresee it, but now that I'm looking at this timeline, it's very possible that could be the Easter, because I think we're going to get an offshoot from Rogue One in regards of another series.
Well, we're definitely doing a review on it. I mean, that's
no, for sure. But I think Rogue One is going to, they're doing about the pilots. So I think there's going to be an offshoot of Rogue One. So I wouldn't be surprised if Obi-Wan, not like complete ground, but touts
that'd be Andor,
bit.
right?
Correct.
Right. Yeah, they already developing that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. And I'm assuming Andor is going to probably fit right after Rebels.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So, guys, thank you.
Yes. And the fans, I'm sure, thank you.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Do y'all appreciate letting me know? But, we can continue the conversation
please
online.
Please let us know.
Yeah.
EST 1982 Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram. And Patreon.com/EST 1982 Podcast. But we've here lately, we've been interacting quite heavily on Facebook. Which works. It's a good platform for everybody to voice their opinions.
And I want to thank the folks for that, because it was a really, really good conversation on Facebook.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, in a good way, engaged. Yeah. It was really engaged. So y'all
and that's what we like. That's what I said.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong here.
Jason, drop your number. I got to talk to Jason.
But it was not just Jason. I mean, I think
but he's so vocal.
Brandon jumped in. Well, no, Jason definitely started the conversation, but Brandon jumped in. It was like,
Brandon always going to jump in.
No, but it was good stuff.
He is.
Listen, y'all. Don't listen to Wally.
As well.
I enjoyed the conversation.
I know you did.
We laughed, we cried, we pointed, we poked. It was great.
It was
really good stuff. And I think you learned some stuff. So this is what we do it for y'all. So
that's right.
We do it for y'all. So
Give
we need y'all
education.
to talk to us. Yes. And if you don't like Star Wars, watch it anyway, because I said so. And may the force be
you know
with
who you are.
Yeah, may the force be with you, Brandon. Ooh.
Now, Brandon likes Star Wars.
No. He said he didn't really want to watch it.
Oh, I missed that. Wow.
EST 1982 Podcast.
There you go. There you go.
May the force be with you all.
Yes.
All right.
My God.
There's a whole backstory on that.
Right.
There we go.
We'll holler at you.
Watch it, dude. Watch it.